I've started the recording, Marcy. So
Okay,
when you're
great.
ready, you can start.
Okay, no worries. 2 minutes are there. And if you could just show your video when we start, Rita, I would like to recognize your contribution. Um, so 2 more minutes, we'll start. Once again, please leave your name and association name and the country name. This webinar is offered to Iowa members for free. If you are not Iowa member, and if you have not paid the minimum fee which is required, in that case, please log off. Okay. We have 48 participants as of now. Rita, chat, I'm sure the chat is available, so we'll be able to make out how many countries participated. But later, if you can just send me some information while recognizing Bob Johnson, we'll mention how many countries and participants attended the webinar. All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Maharshi Mehta. I am immediate past president of Iowa. As of 22nd of October, we had an AGM and the board meeting where Samantha Cornell has become president. Iowa is associations of associations, as you may be knowing. We have 42 associations now, about 20,000 plus members of each associations. As a part of actually our service to Iowa members, we have started offering this webinar since last year and a half. About 18 webinars are offered. This is 19th webinar. And these webinars are taught by top-notch faculties. And topics are also very much relevant. We had lots of enthusiasm from members around the world. I would like to recognize Rita, who is, she calls secretary, but we think that she is an administrator who is supporting all of us to do what we do. I would like to make a pitch about what's happening with Iowa. We have a conference in Nigeria coming up. So if you are around Nigeria, please go ahead and talk to Matthew, who is here. Also, 2024 Iowa conference is going to be in Dublin, and Rita will insert a link here. I would encourage you to register for the conference. There will be several PDCs, and all that information will be coming out. If you have any question about this webinar, please leave it in the chat section. And later, after about an hour and a half, so about 1 hour of the presentation will be there and 15 minutes of the discussion and question answer. So leave your questions in the question answer session as Robert Johnson is speaking. Bob Johnson has been outstanding speaker. He has more than 20 years of experience in non-ionization radiation related subject. He has been member of AIHA and number of other society uh, for non-ionizing radiation. He already offered this webinar one time before, and response was outstanding and overwhelming. That webinar we offered during the evening hours so that people from Australia and other countries can participate. This time we are offering during the morning hours so people from Europe and Mexico and hopefully California and other countries can participate. With that introduction, Rita, is there anything else we need to communicate before we have Robert Johnson start the webinar?
Oh, we can start.
Okay, wonderful. Once again, we would like to recognize Robert for your service to the association. Okay, with that, I will let you start the webinar, Robert.
Okay, well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, whatever. We're depending on where you are. So thank you for attending. As Maharshi said, I've been involved in doing presentations and the education side for quite a few years. Work on the AIHA's NIR committee, the Non-Ionizing Radiation Committee, and also a member of IEEE for years, working on the C95 group of standards and guides. As I always say, we're ISIS, but we're the good ISIS. We're the International Committee for Electromagnetic Safety, so ICES. And we come out with various, not just limits, but we come out with safety program standards and some other guides about how to do measurements and other particular things. So we work closely with ICNR, and we have some members that are on both committees. And so that's what we spend our time doing. So anyway, some of the presentation here, see how this works for you. So just some of the subjects, hopefully everyone can see it. You know, not all sources require surveys. If you look behind me, you'll see a little Wi-Fi router, as we would call it, an access point. And this is very low power. Yes, it generates non-ionizing radiation, but we don't waste time for it because it is what we call like type approved by our government. And so we don't waste a whole lot of times measuring those things. But anyway, we'll go through that. And some of the standards and guidances, some of the documents that are out there are very good. Most, if not all, are available for free. And there's a lot of good things out there. So I know, some of the people from Canada and Industry Canada, I forget what they're called these days, but they've come out with some documents to support Safety Code 6. Like I said, in the IEEE and the FCC, there's various documents for people from the US side. And some of the ITU documents, I think, are very good. And I reference those as well, I think, in this presentation. So we'll see how to do it. So when to measure, and of course, safety programs, like I said, a lot of times ICNR will put out limits, and then you need to look more at the IEC or the ITU for help in developing a standard procedure, a policy to follow. Within the IEEE this last year, we took what was a recommended practice and made it a standard for safety programs. And those are available for free to download as well if you want to start or adapt your thing, program, as it were. And then some of the controls that we use, like any hazard, we can't always eliminate and substitute, but we talk mostly about engineering controls and warning systems and administrative controls that are kind of typically used in this part of the spectrum, let's say. And I just had one of the presentations I did, and someone asked, well, what about getting a consultant? And of course, we all do that quite a bit. And so I just kind of put out some hints and tips for consultants if you're going to go that way. So the spectrum, right? So when we look at the spectrum, we start out in electromagnetic fields. A field, non-ionizing radiation, something is radiation if it has an amplitude and as well as a direction. So something is radiating, electromagnetic radiation. So everyone knows kind of MRIs or high energy research, where we're using very strong magnets in those areas. So we've got static fields, and then we start alternating, much like 50, 60 hertz for power. And then we get up into the typical radio frequency and microwave region. Technically, microwaves are anything that have a wavelength of less than a meter. Although, the public, because a lot of the public sees the heating done by a microwave